For the better part of a decade, if you walked into an Apple store with $600 and asked for a computer, the staff would point you toward an iPad. It was positioned and heavily marketed as the default accessible machine for students and casual users. But Apple is now undercutting that exact market strategy. They recently released the MacBook Neo. It is a full macOS laptop that retails for $599 and drops to exactly $499 for students and teachers. This table shows the stark reality of Apple's pricing shift. To make an entry-level iPad function like a laptop, you have to buy the tablet for $350, a Magic Keyboard for around $250, and an Apple Pencil for another $100. Your budget tablet is suddenly an $800 modular kit. The Neo gives you the screen, the keyboard, the trackpad, and the ports out of the box for hundreds of dollars less. You no longer have to force a tablet to act like a desktop. The Neo provides a traditional, fully equipped laptop experience at a price that makes the modular tablet workaround financially obsolete. When you look closely at the spec sheets for these devices, a strange contradiction emerges between the hardware and the form factor. The $600 iPad Air is powered by the M4 chip. This is desktop-class silicon with a 120 GB per second memory bandwidth, capable of rendering heavy 3D files and compiling massive codebases. The $600 MacBook Neo does not have an M-series chip. It runs on the A18 Pro, a processor originally engineered for battery efficiency inside the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you want to get real work done, why is almost every tech reviewer recommending a laptop with a mobile phone chip over a tablet with a desktop-class processor? Raw processor speed counts for very little when the operating system creates constant friction in your daily workflow. The battlefield has shifted from silicon capability to software restriction. At its core, iPadOS is built on a sandboxed OS architecture. A sandboxed OS is a security model where every application runs in isolation, strictly limited from accessing core system files or interacting freely. Because of this isolation, the operating system aggressively kills background tasks to save battery. Managing 3 floating windows becomes a chore, and simple actions like formatting an external drive require complex workarounds. This productivity matrix plots hardware power against software friction. The M4 iPad Air sits top right, massive computing power but high friction for basic tasks. The MacBook Neo drops bottom left. Its hardware benchmarks are lower, but macOS Tahoe gets entirely out of your way. For standard desktop tasks, a frictionless operating system saves you far more time than a faster processor trapped inside a highly restrictive environment. For students and individual consumers working within a $600 budget, this software capability creates a new set of trade-offs. Apple's education pricing drops the Neo to $499. You qualify if you are enrolled in a college or university, employed by a K-12 school, or a registered homeschool teacher. But that lower price comes with a hard compromise. The base model is locked at 8 GB of RAM and cannot be upgraded later. This chart illustrates how macOS handles that limitation through memory swap. When you open 20 browser tabs, the 8 GB of RAM fills up. The system automatically moves inactive data to the solid-state drive, keeping your active windows running smoothly. If you are trying to export heavy 4K video files, that 8 GB ceiling will slow your export times. But if your daily routine consists of writing essays, researching on the web, and attending video calls, the hardware is perfectly calibrated for your workload. Scaling this purchase up from a single college student to a massive K-12 school district introduces a completely different set of metrics. Today, school deployments are largely divided. IT administrators hand out ruggedized iPads to younger elementary students and issue inexpensive Chromebooks to middle and high schoolers. For these administrators, the retail price is only one factor in the total cost of ownership. This financial metric calculates the initial purchase price plus the ongoing costs of software licensing, repairs, and daily IT management over its lifespan. Deploying a fleet of MacBook Neos requires expensive mobile device management licenses, like Jamf, costing around $23 per device annually. Furthermore, the Neo uses serialized parts, meaning schools cannot easily repair cracked screens in-house using third-party components. Chromebooks, by contrast, often cost under $300 upfront, with cheap, lifetime Google Workspace licenses. And because they are built with easily replaceable parts, a single IT worker can completely swap out a broken plastic screen in just 10 minutes. Yet some districts are considering the Neo because of a behavioral trend known as the aluminum respect factor. Schools consistently report that students treat premium metal laptops with far more care than cheap plastic devices, leading to lower rates of intentional damage. For an IT director, moving to the Neo is a calculated gamble. They're betting that the higher upfront price and software costs will balance out against a longer hardware lifespan and fewer broken screens. Stripping away the marketing reveals exactly where your money should go. This flowchart maps out the decision based on actual use cases. Let's start with institutional IT admins managing tight budgets and minimal support staff. If you need the lowest possible total cost of ownership and easy fleet repairs, stick exclusively to Chromebooks. Next are the digital artists, prosumers, and people who primarily consume media on the couch. If you need to draw with an Apple Pencil, rely on a touch interface, or need the raw rendering power of the M4 chip, you should buy the iPad Air, accepting its file management friction as a necessary tax for those specific tools. Finally, there are the students, writers, and administrative workers with $600 to spend. If your daily work consists of typing, managing browser tabs, and navigating a file system, the MacBook Neo is the definitive choice. The MacBook Neo returns the iPad to its role as a specialized tool for artists and mobile creators. It proves that a dedicated laptop operating system remains more effective for productivity than even the most powerful modular tablet.